Hi, everyone. I wanted to give a New Year's update because 2020 brought so many things that were unexpected and was probably one of the most challenging years the studio has faced so far. But the one thing that never faltered was the embrace of this community to not miss a beat. Between the teachers, the staff, and our yogis, everyone stepped up in one way or another to keep the studio going. As a business, we had to make decisions on almost a daily basis on which direction to go to save the business. The rules of running a business changed on a weekly, sometimes daily basis. And our team stepped up to the challenges, and our students gave us grace and patience as we figured it out, and we continue to do so. So on March 8th, we celebrated our seventh anniversary as a studio. And if for those of you that were there, we filled both rooms. We were shoulder to shoulder. We were dancing, we were moving, we were breathing, we were sweating. And now looking back at that day, we could have never imagined that being in a room with 40 mats side by side or 20 mats in the other room would feel strange today. That we had food laid out in a buffet and all of us celebrated, shared it together, and we weren't even worried about it being unhealthy. And then we took a picture together, all of us embracing one another with the 2019 achievements of our community and never thought twice about hugging one another. So, what many people are not aware of about Drishtik is that it was originally supposed to be a virtual studio. I created this business when I lived in Florida 9 years ago, and Drishtik was not supposed to be a physical studio. I created the word Drishtik to represent the Sanskrit word drishti, which means the focus gaze, and the Q representing infinity, meaning that we could practice anytime, anywhere, and be joined together by our infinite intention. When I moved to Mason 8 years ago, I originally opened this physical space to create a live virtual stream of classes. And that is why the TV was already installed in the Empower Room. But as everyone started walking through the doors, I quickly realized that this was not going to be of interest to have this virtual streaming. So I waited. And then 3 years later, luckily, Amy Kreider became my studio manager, and we started working side by side to see if we could bring back this virtual idea. And we started offering live streaming again. We created a virtual library and redid the website so that this would work. And again, live streaming was not something everybody wanted to do. However, we did find value in that virtual library, and we started including it in our membership so that we had a differentiated membership for all of you. So now COVID comes 7 years later, and we were ready. We never could have imagined that we were going to do it in the way that we do now, but the groundwork was laid so that we never missed a class. And now we even hear from many of you that you can want the virtual streaming to even continue after COVID. So the mission of Drishtik still lives on. The thing that amazes me about the whole thing is how everyone stepped up and we did not miss a beat. The day we were shut down as a studio, we got the equipment up and running, we kept the classes going, and then within a couple weeks had to move everything to our homes, and Amy Kreider and Amy Fallis and Deb Bagley and Jen Casey and Mary Jo and I took the class schedule so you all still had a way to practice and learn new technology. Then I tasked my son Jagger, that's now known as DJ Jaguar, on how we could possibly stream his DJ music through this virtual platform and create some sort of celebration each week in a time when we were going through very tough times and could have this yoga dance party, which has continued. I cannot express enough gratitude for all of these team members who stepped up to learn new technology, that conquered their fear of teaching in a new way, and was able to still create connection with all of you online. But we did experience the financial pain of COVID, and members started dropping out because they didn't like virtual yoga, as well as we weren't getting the normal inflow of new students that typically come into the physical space when we were shut down. So we went back and got creative and launched the Virtual Yoga Festival donation weekend. And what you may not know is that many of our teachers donated their time during quarantine and have since as well. But I definitely want to thank Jen Casey and Mary Jo and Amy Fallis, who gave their own time to teach classes so that we could still bring revenue into the studio. And a huge shout out to Glenn Turndrup, who not only has created workshops and book clubs on his own time, but he's continuing to do so the studio can get revenue in new ways. And I just cannot have enough gratitude for him doing that. But everyone pitched in to help the studio earn money and sustain. And I could not be more blessed with the team that we have and the dedication that they have to the studio. And you showed up in big ways and gave when we needed you. And this helped to pay our staff during these very hard times and keep rolling as a studio. So our teacher training program also had to move to virtual, and Deb and Jen and I quickly had to figure out how to keep it going. And although it was difficult to not be in person, no one complained. The teacher trainers stayed committed, and we tried new ways to teach the same concepts we've always taught. And this was one of our biggest accomplishments, to be able to graduate this class on time and that they still felt engaged and became great teachers. It was just amazing to see how everyone came together. And at the end of May, we were able to open. And I have a huge shout out to Amy Kreider and Donna Kirch for the continual research and work they've had to do with the studio this year to make sure that we're in compliance, that everyone's safe, that they're healthy walking through the door. This was no small undertaking. And let me tell you, this is not any way that any of us wanted to run a business, but we don't have a choice, and we still wanted to create space for everyone to get together. And because of their hard work and perseverance, our doors are still open, and we are practicing together, whether in the physical space or virtually, but we are still practicing. And we continued to celebrate your own club celebrations. And I think, this year when things were so tough, it just gave us a glimmer of light, proof that we could keep going together no matter what. So here's the state we are right now. Are we still struggling? Yes. But what motivates every teacher is the physical and virtual embrace we continue to see in this community. Our 5:30 a.m. classes that motivate each other, the morning classes that get on early to talk to one another and provide support to one another, the evening and weekend classes that push each other and give each other advice and motivation to keep going. You show up and we show up. This has always been our mission in the heart of our studio. Everybody is accepted. We are here to have fun and not take ourselves too seriously and provide healing. We are here to support you as one community anytime, anywhere you are. We have truly practiced our yoga off the mat so many times this year. We've had to practice non-attachment to all that we are used to when we've practiced yoga together. We've had to have no expectation of what a class should be or where we should practice. And we've had to stay present in the moment and enjoy all that we do have without trying to predict the future and create stories that are just untrue, since we don't know what will happen. And we've cultivated gratitude for all that we do have in this community to support one another online and in the studios to celebrate one another. So 2021 brings us hope that hopefully more of us will be able to practice together at some point, as well as bring new yogis into this community. What you will see is we've now installed a TV in the Inspire room. For those of you that are struggling practicing virtually, want to come into the studio but don't want to be in a heated class, we will stream all the live heated classes into the Inspire room so that you can practice still in our physical space with one another if you have that preference. There will be a separate sign up on the schedule so that you can reserve a spot in the Inspire room for these classes. We hope this will entice some of you that have been struggling to come back into the studio and practice together. We currently have a yoga teacher training group that started again and that will be graduating this March. And we will be signing up a new group that will begin on April 9th. So if you're interested in signing up for teacher training, please learn more about the program and contact Deb Bagley or info@Drishtik Yoga to get more information. Glenn Turndrup will be leading a very important workshop if you want to take your knowledge deeper about yoga on the 8 limbs of yoga. This is not to be missed. So please look online and sign up for that workshop there. And we have a special new student month, or it's really a $30 for 30 days in January. So if you know anyone that's interested in yoga or that could use yoga in their life, this is the time to begin, and it is a very limited offer during January. We will figure out new ways to celebrate our anniversary this year because we always figure out a new way, and all the amazing 2020 Om Club achievements, and also probably create a 2021 Yoga Donation Festival version 2. So stay tuned and be on the lookout for an email to vote on our 2020 Annual Teacher Awards. This means so much to our staff when you vote for this, and we're able to celebrate them for all that they do. We are continually thinking of new ways to support your yoga journey, as well as your families, and we appreciate you practicing yoga at Drishtik. We couldn't be here without your support. This year, our theme is going to be one community. Whether you are online or in the studio, we remain together, supporting each other and growing together so we can be better for those around us. Namaste.